Let's do this difficulty 3 right here. Oh my gosh. All regions must have an area of exactly 5. And then this is a new symbol for this video, the Gemini symbol. So shapes on opposite sides of a Gemini symbol have to be the same shape. So if we have all regions must be an area of 5, we have 45 spaces to fill. Oh wow, these are different. Okay, but these are going to be, let's be for real, these are going to have to be like this. Those are given to us. And then we've got to fill in 45 in here. So there's going to be 9 shapes in here. But we know where these shapes have to be the same as the ones over here, which does help us. Like this big lightning bolt can't come this way because it would block this guy off. So it makes it either have to be like, So it makes it either have to be like that. Is this the shape? Yeah. No, what the heck is going on? Which I believe the only way to fit that is like this. Yeah, I think that's the only way to fit it. And then this guy is gonna come 4 across and then jet up somewhere. And then this guy, we know that these pieces have to be together. Same with these pieces. So I think that's that shape, which would make this shape look like that, which would make the staircase can't come this way. So it's gotta come this way, which means that this has gotta go like this. This has gotta go like that. You gotta have something like this here, which makes this shape have to be that one. And then like that. Let's do this level 3 right here. All areas must have a region of exactly 5. So let's just go ahead and start 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. This has to come out like this. Let's just do the extensions we know have to exist. Okay, so we at least know this shape here and this shape here are 2 different shapes. So we brought this down and this would have to be a shape of 6. So we know this has to at least come 1, 2, 3, 4 out. Or actually, no, it can, because it can join with this shape. So yeah, because if we brought it 4 out, this one would have to extend and they'd have to be a region of 6. So I think it has to merge with this guy like that, which means this has to be part of this shape and come out like this to be the that'd be a region of 5, which means this has to be part of this shape and then down like this, I believe. And then this has to be this shape, I believe. Then this is this. These shapes are like this. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then like that. Cute. Cute, cute, cute. How many more in this section? 2 more in this section. Let's tackle this big old level 4. What is this one over here? Like these aren't, maybe I have to do this one first and then this puzzle will unlock. Or maybe those unlock later. Are those even levels? I feel like they are. Once you unlock enough. Well, let's just do this level 4 right here. So for this one, we have the Delta and the Gemini, and all regions must have an area of exactly 3. So that means we either have to have a 1x3 or an elbow macaroni, because those are the only 2 ways that a 1x3 can be made. So, but this one connected to this piece has to be a 1x3 because it couldn't be an elbow macaroni because it wouldn't be able to escape far enough. So meaning whatever's touching this has to also be a 1x3. Same as this piece has to be part of a 1x3. So does that one. So they could be 2 different shapes. They could both be like this. But it's good to know that, at least, that these have to be a part of a 1x3. Okay, so we know that this 1x3 has to come up like this, because if it came right like this, either if it came here or went one more, this would make this one have to be an elbow macaroni, but it can't be. So the 1x3 has to come up like this, which means this has to be a 1x3. But we don't know where this 1x3 has to go yet, because it could merge with this one, meaning this one has to be an elbow macaroni. But that's totally valid. You can have these 2 shapes be the same thing, but we don't yet know if there's a line in between here or not. So we'll leave it there for now. Oh, but we know this one has to be, because this shape has to be a part of a 1x3. So this one has to be an elbow. And I think the only way we can do that without blocking off a circle or blocking off a square is like this. which makes this one, actually no, that doesn't mean anything. And then this one can't be a 1x3, because if it was a 1x3, there'd be no way to make this a valid shape anywhere. So this one has to be an elbow, meaning this one has to be the same as this one, which is an elbow, which means that 1x3 has to go there, which means that this 1x3 has to go there, which means these two are separate. And then this has to be a 1x3 here, this has to be an elbow, this has to be a 1x3, and that has to be a 1x3. Nice! Oh my gosh, so smart. These puzzles are so stinking smart. They're so cool. Okay, regions of area 5, and then we have the Gemini symbol. So 35 squares for your areas of 5 means there are going to be 7 shapes. But whatever's touching this has to be the same as this. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So how many different shapes of 5 are there? There's like a million different shapes of 5 that we could have. There's so many different ones. I wonder exactly how many shapes there are. Let me look that up. So it turns out the name for a 5 shape, like something like this, is a pentomino. And there's 12 different versions of them. So there's a lot of different options. I mean, we can even have this be a shape of 5, or something like this could be a shape of 5. So there's a staircase or a big T like this. So there's a ton of different options we have at our disposal. What I'm going to start with, though, is that these have to be different shapes. Everything on a side of a line have to be different shapes. And then I'm gonna have this little picture up on my phone that shows me the different 5 shapes, just because I think it'll help me figure it out. Okay, and then this square over here, there's 9 squares in here. So at least one of them is gonna have to escape away, possibly out of here. Let's make that a completely different color, because one of them is gonna have to escape somehow. Same as over here. One of these guys is gonna have to escape into the middle. Well, that's tempting to do that shape just like this. And I think that means we know, since only one shape can extend or can escape, that there has to be barriers here. So then anything in this middle has to be a different shape. So then I think that means for the 6, there's 6 spots up here. So the only way I can think of that would make a valid anything is if, or maybe this is the only one that looks like this, blocked off like that. So then this guy can escape down the middle and be a shape of 5 like this. And this has got to be a big L. Even that this has got to be a big L. This has got to be a 5 like that. And so this has got to look like this, which would be like this, and then a 5 area that way. Cute, cute, cute. So these are cute mechanics. The only one I just really didn't like was this mingle shape. That mingle shape was just hard for me. But now we've done all 3 of these regions, and you can keep doing the puzzles in a region to make this little, I can't remember what they just called it, but to make them look cooler. So like if I go back here to the very beginning, see how this one is golden? That is because I've completed all the levels in that section. So they look gold and pretty, which I think is pretty cool that the artwork, the world changes as you complete levels. But now we have all of these puzzles unlocked, and there's much more murals to complete. Maybe this is a whole, I don't even know what they're called. Just like the windows. I think they're just called windows. Let's do a level 1 of this area, because we may have a new mechanic for this area. Is there even a level 1 right here? Ooh. Okay. So nothing new so far. Just, oh my gosh, just that all regions have to have an area of exactly 2, and all must contain one of these red circles. So we have to put barriers between anywhere the reds touch each other, because we can't have 2 of these little circles in the same region. And all of a sudden, now the puzzle looks much more accessible. So all of them have to look like this, because that's just how it works. We can't have this one or here, because it has to have a circle. So it's gotta come to the right, like that. This has got to come up, come up, come up. This one's got to go like that. That one's got to go like that. Oh, we're going to speed run. Ready? Do-do-do-do. Boom! Boom saws. That was a level 1 for a reason. Let's go get a hard one. Ooh, look at this one. This one's hiding over here. We have to complete more of them, I guess, to unlock the harder ones. So let's just find the highest level that we can. Do I see you hiding back there, mister? I see this puzzle back there. Oh my gosh. All must have a region of exactly 10. So that means there's 30 spaces. These can't be together. Okay. These are different shapes. These are different shapes. Right. This one's got to come up. Got to be different than that guy. So I think we can try to deduce what blue piece this red one matches up with. Because if it comes around and grabs this one, there's no piece that could come up here in order to snake a blue and a red. It'd be way too big. So that red and that blue can't be together. So I think that means this red one's got to come over and grab this blue. That's too big. That's 11. Ooh, so then it can't have that one either. So it's got to come over and grab this one. Well, no, because of that one, so this one can never get to that one in time. So it definitely can't be this one. But if it was this one, then these blues couldn't escape. So it has to be this one, but maybe it just also has some of these guys up here, and maybe 2 less. So maybe it's like this kind of shape. And then this blue one has to come down and then be like this. It has 10, and then this is another shape right here. Nice. Okay, yeah. I'm not going to go fully logic on some of these because sometimes it does make sense just to kind of mess around. Let's go. Ooh, there's a 4. Oh, there's a 5. Oh my gosh. Let's do the 4 first because I think a 5 might kill my brain. Let's do a 4. Oh my goodness gracious. So how many are these? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So there's going to be 13 shapes. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 of them are 1x3s. So that's 36. 36 spaces are taken up by 1x3s, leaving the remaining shape to be made of 74 spaces? Is that right? Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's try to figure this out. So this 1x3 has to either come down and grab this one or grab this one. So meaning this up here has to be a part of the really, really big shape. So let's make the 1x3s like red, and we'll make the big shape a blue, because that'll help me, I think. So same, this one has got to come either here or here, meaning the rest of this has to be the blue guy, right? I think that's correct. So I guess over here, we could have done where this has to be all of that shape. And if we can just keep on doing stuff like that, then I think we can figure it out. Because the rest of these circles have to be part of the 1x3s because the big shape already has this 1x3 taken up. So anywhere that's not connecting a 1x3, like in line like this or in line like that, has to be the other guy, right? So like, we know this has to be it. Over here, the whole bottom has to be the big shape. Same as over here has to be the big shape. We just have to find out where it comes in and where it finds its path. I think, so the middle of this also has to be, like these middle spots have to also be a part of the big guy somehow as well. I think, because yeah, there'd be no way you could have a 1x3 touching those like this. Oh my gosh, this bizarre little checkerboard looking thing. So now, right now we have 9 plus 5, 14, 19, plus 17, 36, plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, which is 48. So we have to find a bunch more. Oh my gosh. This one's tricky. Okay, so now I think we can start trying to connect the blue ones inside. So to get this one connected to the big shape, it's gotta come connect like that. Meaning this 1 by 3 has to be here, which means that this is gonna be a part of the big shape. Oops. Which also means this one is part of the big shape. Which means I can draw barriers around all of these just to make it easier on my brain. So let's look at this blue piece. It's gotta connect to the outside walls somehow. So that looks like there's probably like a couple options that are probably smarter. Like this one would have to come over, which would make this, would force this move, and force this move, and it force that. But that means there'd be no way to connect this piece to everything. So actually the smarter move is probably to think about how to get this piece to connect to the grander scheme of everything, which means it has to come down like this. That's smarter. I don't know what I was doing. Which means that 3 pieces forced here, which means this part is part of this. This has got to come out to try to be a part of the bigger shape, which means that this 1 by 3 is forced, which means that this is part of the bigger shape. This 1 by 3 is forced, which means that this is part of the bigger shape. Because it's, oh no, yes. Which means these connect over here, which means this is part of the bigger shape. This one's got to come down because we got to be able to connect it to this shape now, which means this 1 by 3 is forced here, which means that this has got to come out into the world like this, which means that this 1 by 3 is forced, which means that this part has to come up into the world like this. I don't think, oh, that could connect, but it won't because this 1 by 3 has to either be going up or to the left. So these are all part of the bigger shape. Tricky. So this one either has to come down like this or over like that, but that would make it so this isn't able to do anything. So this one has to come down like that, which means that this 1 by 3 is forced. This is part of the bigger shape. This is part of the bigger shape. This guy's got to come down to connect to the bigger shape, which means that these 1 by 3s are forced, which means that this has got to come down. This 1 by 3 is forced. This is part of the bigger shape. This 1 by 3 is forced. This 1 by 3 is forced, and the rest fills in like that. I really liked that puzzle. That was a super satisfying puzzle. I really liked that puzzle. Let's see if we can find another hard one like that. That's a 5 back here. Oh my goodness, there's a lot of rules. There's a lot of rules. So we have a shape bank, rose windows, delta, and Gemini. But let's count. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 reds, which means there's also 15 blues. So we gotta have 15 shapes in here somehow. And there are 99 spaces. So we're not gonna have even shapes. We know that. So let's just start with this guy. This guy has to come up and out of there. And we at least know it can't be a 1 by 3 because this one has to be the same, and there's no way I could grab a red and blue by being a 1 by 3. So we at least know it's not a 1 by 3. But it could be like this. No, but that's not a valid move. So, but this is not a valid move either. So it could be like that. Oh, it couldn't. Oh, I forgot about the shape bank. It has to be one of these. Okay, I forgot about that rule. So it can't be a 1 by 3, it has to be a 1 by 4. Meaning the one touching this also has to be a 1 by 4, like that. Okay, that makes this a lot easier. Holy crap. So this one has to connect to this guy, but it could just be a 1 by 3. No, it couldn't, because then this one would have no way of getting shapes by maintaining the shape rule. So it has to at least be like this. But it's probably, no, it has to come up and be a shape like this. This shape has got to be different. So it could be a 1 by 3 up, or a 1 by 4 up, or a 1 by 3 and a 1 by 4 to the side. It could also be a big guy like that. Oh no, it couldn't be. It could be a guy like this. But I think we have all this down here correct. So up here you can check and just see if you're going the right way. For like these bigger puzzles, I like to do it because who knows how far we could get in this puzzle and then find out that I've been wrong for like 30 minutes. That would be the death of me. Okay, so for this one over here, I think we know it has to be a 2x4 because any other iteration of a shape would either not fulfill not have a red and blue in it, or it would block off this shape into where it would not have a red, or like it just wouldn't work, right? So this has to be like that, which means that this shape also has to be a 2x4, which it could either come this way or come up like this. But we know it has to have these shapes, these 4 squares in common. Let's give it some new colors. Like they're all the same color basically. Okay, so over here, it has to be different than a 1x4, but similar logic, it has to be a 2x4, which means that this one has to be different than a 1x4. So I'm thinking it's going to be a 1x3 up, because or a 1x4 up. It could be a 1x4 up, but it's got to at least go upwards, because that's the only way. Because if it was the only other option, I guess, is like a 2x3 like this, but then this would have no shape here. So it's got to be a 1x3 up, at least. It could be a 1x4. But that makes this one have to be a 2x3 at least. It could come up one more. We don't quite know. Oh, I said this one has to be like this. Sorry, I forgot. So this one's got to at least be a 1x3 so we can block off the sides. Oh, this one has to be a 2x3 because it has to be different than this one. So meaning this one has to be the 2x4. Right. And then that leaves these guys got to connect, but we don't know which ones of these take over this middle section. Or no, actually, if it's like that, there's no way for this area to be a valid shape. So I think that means these guys got to be together like this, which means that this is one big shape. And then this one's going to connect to that guy. We know that for sure. And it's also going to have these guys, but it could be a 2x4, but it's at least a 2x3, which means this guy could either go here or that way. Okay, and then if these guys connect, this would make an invalid shape. So this, hold on, this red and blue have to connect together, which I think the only way to do that is a 2x4 like this, a 2x4 like this. Now these shapes are the same. And then this has to be a different shape than this. So this has got to be a 2x3, which means that's a 2x4. And then there, that's my first difficulty 5 puzzle. That one was a lot easier than some of the other difficulty 5 puzzles looked. I dig in the more difficult ones. Those are more fun to do.